Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Friday, May 17th, 2024. I'm Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Happy Friday, everyone. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. The previous session, a little bit of a failed new high, mostly a digestive day, closing the session on the lows of the day for kind of a narrow range session after a really solid squeeze through the first couple of weeks of May, reaching previous highs of the year, reaching new all-time highs at 53.49. Now, keeping an eye on the previous session's low for a potential low-range outside day up or a two-day narrow range compression as we head into the weekend. As of right now, we have seen a light test at the previous session's low, and prices have jumped back above that low. 53.15.5 is the previous session's low. A little bit of a box reversal down below that level at around 3 in the morning. We've seen price now reverse modestly back up. Can price push back to the previous session's midpoint and even through it for a modest outside day up? Maybe a 35-point range today could be in play from that perspective, but any failure to hold that previous session's low, and we could be looking at a little bit more weakness up ahead. But as of right now, with a light economic calendar, we could be looking at a two-day narrow range as the market maintains the gains for the week heading into the weekend. Let's take a look here at the NQ. The NQ, very similar price action. The previous session, we were looking for a potential failed new high, thrust reversal signal here that could take us back into the previous session's range. And for the most part, it was mostly range bound, mostly hanging out near the highs of the day until a late decline pushed it back to the previous lows. So right now, we're kind of sitting right near the previous session's low here. We did see price drop below the previous session's lows again around that 3 o'clock hour, and then double bottom back up. So we're seeing a push back toward the previous session's midpoint. Can we go up to the previous session's high for a mild low range outside day today? That would be best case scenario. We're likely going to keep a two-day narrow range into the rest of the session and heading into the weekend. This market also reached new all-time highs yesterday and was able to get back to those highs. That's something we talked about since about Friday, a couple of Fridays back. You had your FOMC key level here on May 1st. Price rallied on the Thursday, Friday afterwards and broke through the previous month's midpoint. And when that occurred, we mentioned that we could be looking at a push that takes us back to the highs. We were looking for failed new lows along the way and to fuel that move, and we've seen it come to fruition in spades. Now that we've reached the high, we could be looking at some sort of rejection that develops here over the next week of trading that could take us right back down to the breakout point, back toward 18K, maybe even back across the range for a larger trading range development here. But as of right now, heading into the weekend, we could be looking at a two-day narrow range with an upward bias. Best case scenario, modest upside bullish day today. Got to keep an eye on the previous session's midpoint and push through that level for that to take place. All right, taking a look here at crude oil. Crude oil up right now about 0.25%, mostly a digestive day developing here. A perfect doji-like day after yesterday's modest strength. Price pushed higher and came just shy of the $80 level. $80, big time line in the sand for this market here. You can see the last time we really tested 80 here, or the two times we tested 80 this year, we're really pushing through it as a transition day, and then the next time we pushed back through it as a transition day here. We've come close to it on that day, close to it on this day, close to it on that day, but just the market hasn't wanted to push through that $80 level in crude, instead staying right now at 79. A modest doji-like day, inside day, as this market trades around a flat year-to-date VWAP. That's a yearly VWAP right there, and it's pretty much a straight line since the beginning of the month. This is now a 10, 12-day compression here that's developing. And that is building a ton of energy here for a potential push that could take us through 80 next week. But as of right now, any tested 80 that fails, you're looking at a return back down to new lows within this downtrending channel. So right now, still stuck in the range until proven otherwise. Looking at gold futures, you'll notice gold right now has continued to show strength overall. The previous session, a little bit of a modest failed new high back toward the midpoint, so a fade after trend day development. But this market has been in an uptrending mode. So after down days, we've seen this thing come roaring back, and we could be looking at further strength up ahead for gold. If this thing can continue to stay above the previous session's midpoint here, we have a shot to go attack the high and perhaps even close on the highs of the week. Looking at the YM right now, pretty flat at the moment. It did push below the previous session's low and rejected those lows again in the 3 o'clock hour. And this one has a shot to go back toward the previous session's mid and attempt an outside day up as well. For the most part, likely to stay narrow range here today. Low range price action likely to be in development here for the most part, heading into the weekend as the market maintains these gains. This is the only one that really didn't go test a new all-time high just yet, but the stretch has been tremendous from 38K all the way back to the 40,200 level. That was basically where we got to here the previous session, 40,191. Currently trading above 40K at the moment, and for the most part, failed new low with an upward bias developing right now. 2-day narrow range as the market maintains these gains into the weekend. Lastly, taking a look here at Bitcoin. Bitcoin here had a little bit of a fade day yesterday, mostly a hold digestive day. Today we're having a 2-day digestive day, especially after that 7% rally here. We talked about this compression here, this triangular compression that developed here. That's a 10,000 point breakout move that could be in play. And this one bar alone was 5,300 points. We have kind of a hold pattern right here, a rest after battle style pattern developing here on a 2-day hold inside day with an upward move that's developing here in the 8-period average. The next pullback could be a launch point that takes us higher towards 71.5 and perhaps even into the 74,000 highs. So this thing is building out here, needs above 67s at some point to really get this party started. But at the moment, it appears as though we have the initial breakout move from this compression here, which could take us back at the very least to the previous quarter's close price. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this develops here heading into the weekend. Happy Friday. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.